This makes me want to finna pull up to a court.
Yeah, I was
Shoot
about to
some
say.
food.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up because
Everyone thinks the best basketball shorts are just the biggest highlights from the biggest players. But that's not what makes them go viral. In today's video, I'm joined by Ricky, who is an absolute content nerd, and he's edited hundreds of shorts. And we're gonna break down exactly what makes these shorts go viral. So in this first video, there's a really important concept. We've got a golden rule at play here of don't tell, but show, especially in tutorials like this, where people will be learning by watching, not listening. So let's have a look.
Can't dribble between your legs like it just goes off your leg like that. Follow this 1 minute progression, and by the end, dribbling between your legs will be pretty easy. For the first step of the progression, you're gonna just wrap the ball around your leg like this. When that's too easy, you're gonna wrap it around both legs like this. And when that's too easy, you're gonna get in a wide lunge, dribble, catch, dribble, catch, dribble, catch. And when that's too easy, step, dribble, catch, step, dribble, catch, step, dribble, catch. And when that's too easy, hop, dribble, catch, hop, dribble, catch, hop, dribble, catch. Be sure to do both legs. When that's too easy, one dribble, tween, catch, one dribble, tween, catch. And when that's too easy, one dribble, step, one dribble, step, one dribble, step, tween, one dribble, step, tween. And when that's too easy, one dribble, hop, one dribble, hop, one dribble, hop. And then when that's too easy, you're gonna start doing it on the move. And when you can do that, dribbling between your legs will be a piece of cake. I post good drills. Follow me.
yeah, so that video I think was really good. I mean, just look at how many saves this video has. It has 60,000 saves. I mean, that just proves that this was a great tutorial. People are saving it. They're going to come back to the video. First thing I want to talk about, the hook. It's a visual hook. It shows what I believe to be a very common and relatable thing that happens. Because I know I'm not very good at basketball. When I used to play, it was really hard to do a crossover under the legs, right? And that was exactly what happens. So as soon as I see that, I go, yep, I know exactly how that feels. And I'm sure millions of other people, particularly these 60,000 people, felt the exact same. Now, this guy is saying, I can actually help you go from that to doing it properly. Then it's very simple. He's just going through the progression, cutting, showing us the different progressions. And I think the thing that I like the most from a business perspective, he has a really good CTA or call to action at the end. Follow and I'll help you get handles like this. So anyone that's gotten through the video probably got a lot of value out of it. And they're like, yeah, this guy actually was really good at teaching. This is just another example that, like, in this day and age, people aren't comparing resumes to who they want to follow for skills and advice. They actually want to get advice and skills and tutorials from people that make good content. And look, I'm not saying this is a great thing for society, and that's why we get a lot of fraudsters and stuff like that, where they perceive to be more of an expert on a field than they are. But that's just the reality of it. So if you are an expert, let's say you're a lawyer, an accountant, or financial advisor, or anyone of that nature, and then you've been in the industry for 20, 25 years, and you're like, how is that young person getting so much business when they've only been in this industry for a couple of years? It's because they're making good content and they're solving a lot of problems that people have. It's what it comes down to. Good content that solves a problem and answers it well. Little CTA at the end. Great video. 10 out of 10 for me.
I really like the point that you made about how many saves it has, because this is such a rewatchable video. If you make videos that people will save and rewatch, the algorithm is going to love it. And that's a really important point, especially for educational content. So this video was very high paced. I know this is one that you chose, Ricky, but while watching it, I was wondering, can you have a video that's too high paced, right? That it goes overboard with it. So let's watch it and let's find out.
The NBA signature moves into a tier list. The looking at the hand, fuck you 3.
This is like a B. It's just the stupidest move. This is the most old man move.
I want to give this a B though, because when it works, you're shocked.
The name is funny though.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we'll give it a B just for the name. The James Harden step back 3.
Oh, that's an A.
You got to give it an S tier. Man made a career off of it.
It can't be an S tier because it doesn't work in the playoffs, so you can't give it higher than an A.
That's true. That's true.
Allen Iverson crossover.
That's S tier.
Easy S tier.
The vibes are immaculate.
He changed the crossover game.
Yep.
Yep, the influence is
Simple.
crazy. That's easy easy S.
Simple.
The Joel Embiid second round playoff loss.
Ah, that's
Oh
disgusting.
my
Listen,
God.
it has to be S tier. It is the only unstoppable move in the history of the NBA.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's never not worked.
He's undefeated when it comes to that, bro. One of the greatest of all time. We've never seen nothing like it. A generational talent, and that's an S.
It is literally the only certainty in sports history. The Dirk one leg fadeaway.
Ooh, that's an S.
S tier.
No one keeps it in their bag routinely.
Facts, uniqueness.
Because only he can do it. It's a personal move.
Okay, that is a good question. Is it too hype? I
Yeah.
think it's really important to understand who your target audience demographic is. So if you're targeting, say, 30 to 40, 50-year-olds, yeah, perhaps this editing style, this quick pace doesn't hit.
A lot of cuts.
A lot of cuts, a lot of sound effects, a lot of random visuals that come up on the screen, a lot of zoom ins as well. There's a lot going
A
on.
lot of dings.
Right? A lot of dings. Now, what I will say though is the reason why I think this was actually one of their highest performing podcast clipped videos. And obviously the ideation is great. They actually do a lot of tier list content, which is just, I think is like the biggest hack to going viral. People love tier lists. Like, it doesn't matter who does a tier list. If you say, I'm going to do a tier list of something that's somewhat interesting, it's going to get views, like hands down. I think the thing that I really like about these guys is that there's always different opinions and it's very fast paced. So it's not an echo chamber. Like, these guys actually disagree quite a lot, and cutting between their opinions really quickly on a certain move is just creating such a great dynamic that is probably explains why they're so successful on TikTok. So yeah, I'd probably argue no, that it's not too hyped.
I also think that it's really important what the theme of the video is. If you did this style of editing when these three guys are talking about something more educational and trying to do a tutorial and teach someone about something, then it becomes very hard for the viewer to stay focused on what they're actually talking about. Yep. Whereas this is more conversational, so you can add in jokes, you can add in icons, you can add in cuts, you know what I mean? You can add in noises. Whereas
yeah, if they were
teaching... Exactly. Yeah. It's more when it's for entertainment, it works. If it's for educational, don't think it would work as well. All right, guys, I know I said in the intro that it's not always about the big name players and just taking highlight clips. So I asked you the question, Ricky, what makes this video different? What do they do differently in this video to enhance the clips?
Best player in this series on the basketball court is a 23-year-old with a $200+ million contract, playing like he broke, playing like he said, I want this, I'm taking him out. Last statement, I've said it before and I'll say it again. He is a shark in blood-infested waters. Ant-Man is coming.
Makes me want to finna pull up to a court.
Yeah, I was about to say. Well, it's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up because I was actually going to tie this back to what is the purpose of the content here. So if we think about highlights in general, unclipped, unedited, what is the point of a highlight? It's for, like, at its core, it was for someone that couldn't watch the game and they just want to get all the key moments from the game. Now, obviously, if there are lots of basketball fans, then a lot of people are going to be looking for the highlights. But the problem with just clipping highlights and posting it is we don't have this narrative structure. It doesn't create inspiration. It doesn't create motivation to become a better player, to play like Anthony Edwards. And I think without this type of editing, you don't get those highlights or clips of highlights to the next level without creating emotion. So let's think about why the emotion was created. Well, obviously the sound design is amazing. Sometimes just the music itself can make a video hype and create that emotional engagement. But I think the thing that I really like about this edit is they used a voiceover that was clearly clipped of Stephen A. Smith. If you guys don't know who Stephen A. Smith is, I would say he's a pretty controversial basketball pundit who likes to come out with shocking and outrageous claims, but is also quite entertaining and has some interesting takes. Once again, here they've clipped him talking about Anthony Edwards, which adds to the story of Anthony Edwards. And it's creating suspense because, you know, they tease us. There's no actual highlights yet. It's just him kind of prepping, making faces, celebrating, and we don't actually get the highlights, and it really creates emotion and suspense for us. And then when the beat drops, which I think is around, and at the end of the narrative,
Man is coming.
it comes in and drops on the dunk. So here the editing is enhancing the highlights. So yes, even though Rod said you can't just clip highlights and, you know, of big name players, which I guess they have done here, you've also got to really appreciate the level of editing that has gone into this. You know, there's a big community, particularly on TikTok, of people who love After Effects edits. After Effects is where you do more VFX sort of stuff. People can do some really crazy stuff, particularly with AI these days. And I think that also adds to it as well, because the editing community, even if they don't like basketball, they're probably going to get on board with this video as well and go and appreciate it for what it is.
So coming up next, we've got another tutorial video, and in this video, they make it a bit more obvious of what they want the audience to look at. So I want to see if that does work for you, Ricky, as an editor, and maybe you can even give some tips on what they could have done better.
Defender in a one-on-one situation in game, then you'll want to check out this crazy drill. So start by grabbing your ball and then grabbing a partner and then lining up around the free throw line, and you're going to start by getting it into a staggered stance on the right side or the left side. All I'm going to be doing is getting into a cross between situation where I'm consistently dribbling, and our partner is going to hold out his hand, have his hand down, or cut me off completely so I can read and react. So make sure to tag a hooper down below you do this drill with.
I think the idea of the tutorial is there, and I think the way they've scripted it is there. I think perhaps they could have executed a little bit better in certain areas. First, I just want to highlight some of the positives within this video. These edits are pretty cool. I haven't really seen anything like this. I do like these, and I think this is pretty cool. My only issue is the framing of this is a little bit janky. So let me get my pen out here. Now we're watching this on desktop. So generally this is actually going to be moved in over here. And this is obviously going to stay at the bottom. So what that means is like this part of the frame is going to be blocked, which is a shame because we have so much space up here. Now, this can either come from the videography or from post-production. I think it would just be better if we can get the most important part of the tutorial around here or even a little bit higher. Now, obviously that's difficult to do because we're trying to look at his feet, but perhaps move this guy out of frame temporarily as we highlight this and then bringing him back in. Once again, I'm just nitpicking, but these things do matter. Like if I'm trying to watch a video on a tutorial and a lot of the information that I need to be looking at is cut off by this annoying UI, that is going to cause a problem. Obviously, no fault of theirs. It's the UI, but you need to play the rules of the game. If YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram have this stuff on the screen, we have to deal with it. So that's one thing I would say from a framing perspective. And then the other thing that I would probably say is, so the script here is really good. I think the idea is really good. Are you struggling to score in a one-on-one? If you struggle to score against your defender in a one-on-one, which is a very common situation that I think a lot of basketball players want to solve, that's great. Great opening. Great script. The problem is, why not show a situation of a one-on-one straight off the bat? So we can see, first of all, who's actually talking. Because why should I listen to you versus, say, the thousands of other people that have made the same video? Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with making the same video. This is actually a myth or a misconception in content. There's a lot of content advisors out there who go, oh, you shouldn't recreate the same content as someone else. Well, if lots of people are asking for that question or that a lot of people need that problem to be solved, you should definitely make a video on it, but add your own twist. Now, I don't know the level of this guy, so why should I trust him? But if you show me in the opening frame of him doing some sick crossover spin move into a layup, I'm going to listen to him and watch what he has to say. Unfortunately, he hasn't given us any social proof. He hasn't given us any authority on the matter. Unless this guy is famous, I don't know, but I'm just going to go off with what I know. So that would probably be my 2 points that I would criticize in this video. How do you feel about those things? Am I being too harsh?
Yeah, I really agree with, I mean, look, we don't like to look at the negatives of videos, but this is already a good video. How do you level it up? And
Yes,
I think
exactly.
the framing for me is really important because even in a few of those clips that he's used, the B-roll clips of him actually using the move, when he's putting it through his legs, it's cut off. The bottom part of it is cut off. But I also want to give him props because the editing tactic of highlighting
it's cool.
the ball and highlighting his legs is really what made this video good, and it's really what made me save this video. So there you go. I know you mentioned that tier lists are really awesome, but also comparisons are really awesome as well, and this is what you get in this video. So let's see how they do it and what techniques they use to make it pretty obvious that they're comparing.
So good. Yeah, that's a really good video. And once again, this just proves that ideation and even, I guess, maybe not so much scripting, but storyboarding how the video is actually going to play out. The prep behind it makes a big difference. In the opening frame, it's not super obvious what's about to happen because the evolution of the slam dunk is all the way at the bottom and probably going to be cut off if we're looking on mobile. But I think this 1950s and the black and white editing sets up the context, so we don't necessarily need it. There's not much. There's no music, there's no sound effects, there's no fancy editing. I guess there's a little bit of color grading. As we can see, we go from black and white to the 60s. They got like some film. But it really just comes down to the idea and obviously the talent that is on camera. I mean, this guy is just, his dunk is progressively getting better and better, which creates this natural payoff to the hook, right? Because we know 1950s, okay, what's going to happen in the 60s? What's going to happen in the 70s? And anyone that's got to basically 4 seconds probably understands where this video is going, and they're going to want to see what happens in 2020 or whenever era you're watching this video.
So I came across this video and it has a lot of views. I loved the idea, but I didn't like the way they executed. So I wanted to see if you shared the same opinion, Ricky.
Okay, let's have a look.
Highest and lowest scoring award winners. The lowest scoring MVP season belongs to Wes Unseld, averaging 13.8 points per game. The highest belongs to Wilt Chamberlain, averaging 37.6 per game. Lowest scoring Defensive Player of the Year season belongs to Mark Ian, averaging 6.2 points per game. The highest belongs to Michael Jordan, averaging 35 points per game. Lowest scoring Rookie of the Year belongs to Malcolm Brogdon, averaging 10.2 per game. The highest scoring Rookie of the Year belongs to Wilt Chamberlain, averaging 37.6 per game. Lowest scoring Sixth Man of the Year is Bill Walton at 7.6 per game. The highest is Ricky Pierce at 23 per game. The lowest scoring Finals MVP is Wes Unseld at 9 per game. The highest scoring Finals MVP is Michael Jordan, averaging 41 points per game. The lowest scoring champ is Joe Fulks, averaging 22 points per game. The highest scoring champ is Wilt Chamberlain, averaging 50.4 points per game. Bill Russell won MVP that season. Lowest scoring most improved player, Isaac Austin, averaging 9.7 points per game. The highest scoring most improved player, Ja Morant, averaging 27.4 points per game. Lowest scoring all-star, Roger Brown, averaging 2.5 points per game. Highest scoring all-star, Wilt Chamberlain, averaging 50.4 points per game.
Yeah. Okay, I can see where you're coming across with this video. It did make me laugh though with the Ja Morant bang bang, the gunshots. So that's definitely a positive. Okay, let me actually guess why you didn't like this video. Is it because there's too much shit on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's way too much shit on the screen for me.
Yeah.
There's like, you don't know what to look at. Am I
Yeah.
looking at the title? Am I looking at the textual hook? Am I looking at the animations? Am I looking at the extra things that he's putting up? It's too much.
Now, once again, the idea is great, and the information that I'm looking for is quite interesting. It's like, okay, Finals MVP, who got the lowest, who got the highest. I actually kind of like the art style. Like, it breaks up our feed a lot. We don't see this cartoony, animated. It's got like Mario, like old school Mario graphics. So this will be quite nostalgic. And considering the demographic that this is probably targeting, because we're talking about kind of older generation players here quite often. This might be nostalgic for that audience, and it might actually create that relatability. But yeah, you're right. The issue here is there's just too much stuff going on in the screen. I'll talk about it from an editing perspective. So for example, in this shot here, it's fine to bring this up. Let's just blur out the back a little bit and maybe create a fade on the darkness. Then the question is, do we need this highest and lowest scoring award winners throughout the whole video? Probably not. We could probably have it for like, I don't know, the first 8 seconds, and then it's like, okay, cool, we get that. Let's get rid of that, and let's create a little bit more clarity on the frame.
I mean, look, it did do well, but it could have done way, way better. I think the idea is really good. I also think that he did it for too long. He could have maybe broken this up into multiple shorts, maybe. Like modern day versus old school sort of comparisons.
That's a good idea.
Right? Yeah, the key takeaway here is you've got to find strategies to make it simple and enhance the viewer experience rather than overload them with animations and editing and slick transitions and whatnot, right? Sometimes it can be too much. And when it's too much, it also makes me want to swipe away.
There's a fine line between too much visual stimuli and not enough. So that's probably the biggest takeaway from this video. Yeah, Rod, great content breakdown there. I think we learned a lot of key takeaways from all these videos. And I think the most important thing is that even if you're creating content that's not basketball related, whether it be for your business or maybe you're trying to build a personal brand, a lot of these strategies apply to your own content as well. So it's important that you're thinking about this, you know, daily and researching and studying. But if you guys are struggling or you don't have time to go to the level of detail that we go in and you're looking for professional help, then get in contact with us. We've got a link in the description below. We specialize in service-based professionals trying to scale their content. And we're trying to find those 1%ers that get you from here to the next level. Otherwise, leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.